in Zambia, we have a popular saying in reference to, I think, the statute of limitation, which goes umlandu tauwola in Bemba and in Nyanja umlandu siuwola, to say that a matter does not rot. And I couldn't help but think about this. I have been seeing on social media pictures and videos, which is beautiful, and that's what I love about our nation, because being a Christian nation, and just because we make so many attempts to be a highly morally upright nation, or at least speak a lot of it more than we act it out. Seeing Ivanka Bianca's testimony a few days ago, I've seen snippets on social media, and the one clip that has been circulating is the fact that she apologized. Well, that's what the caption says. I hope I can find that. Allegedly, the caption says Ivanka Bianca apologizes, I think, to Roberto and a number of them, okay? And she said particularly that she lied about being pregnant for Roberto and him, having her unalive those pregnancies. I saw her this language on social media.
Those things that I wrote about Roberto, that he made me about 7 pregnancies, it was a lie. Before this baby, in Hope Chirish, I had never been pregnant. Before that baby that died, I had never been pregnant in my life. And I'll show you how as women we can be. So even that guy was just another victim of my lies at the time.
So, back to statute of limitation conversation. Under the Cybersecurity and Crimes Act, anyway, the same crime, the act that they are prosecuting Talemwanza under, the particular section, I think it must be section 69, the particular section, that time when those statements were made, Ivanka was liable. Okay, so she just wasn't reported as far as I'm concerned. Okay, then yesterday she comes back. Oh, I don't know when the live happened. I suspect yesterday, because that's from yesterday's when I've been seeing those videos. She comes back and said, "Oh, those things that I said, they were a lie." So let's say Roberto decides to sue under the cybersecurity, or let's just call it the cyber law because it's so long, decides to sue under the cyber law. Can a matter hold? It can, because there is no limitation on that particular offense. Okay, so what is the law lesson we need to be learning? Be careful not to self-incriminate. You can self-incriminate even before trial, where you're admitting, you're making confessions on public social media and things like that, because you have to remember that criminal offenses have to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. So your lawyer is just putting the defense in a position where they have to prove the matter beyond reasonable doubt, not on a balance of probabilities. Now, when you do things that make it difficult for your lawyer to help the situation, and helping the situation is, and this usually it is in this situation where they say lawyers are liars. No, lawyers are not liars. It is their duty to ensure that the burden of proof is discharged properly on the other side, to prevent people being arrested for things that they did not do. Am I saying she's guilty? No. I'm saying if they went to the police and reported, she would neatly fall in that offense and should be taken to trial. And also, I'm saying that her making that video, even if she meant well, and it's a good thing, and we love testimonies, I'm a believer, love to hear people finding their way back to God, people turning around. And I love that this country is so forgiving, and that we're just those good people, okay? And I'm glad that it hasn't gone that way. But a lesson that we can all learn is, even when you mean well, if you need to make an apology, go to the person and make that apology. Because some of these things, digital footprint, the internet doesn't forget. And one day you have a fight with someone, all these confessions, they can come. Granted, yes, the disadvantage of waiting too long going to report the matter is that the evidence can be tampered with and whatever. But like I'm saying, With digital footprint, someone has screenshotted, someone has downloaded, it has circulated, it's viral. And so just to say, be careful with how you approach, and especially for people who are in the limelight, it's important to run the things you're about to say before your lawyer. It's good to be led when you're giving a testimony and things like that, but when you hold a certain position in society, even in snippets of that testimony, she had talked about how people who were close to her were trying to bring her down. Okay, so just to say, be careful with things that you're putting out, especially when you see that there's multiple cases under the cybersecurity law, and you're popular and you're known, and you just feel free to say that. Just to say, be careful not to play with fire like that, because these things don't have limitation. Just that. It's not to make this a legal lesson, but just be cautious.